What if I told you that nearly 45% of Americans believe they have experienced some form of paranormal activity? That means millions of people claim to have seen, heard, or even captured something unnatural. Some of these encounters are easy to explain, tricks of the light, camera glitches, or even clever hoaxes. But then there are the photos that defy logic, the ones that send a shiver down your spine, the ones experts can't debunk, no matter how hard they try. Take this infamous case, a seemingly innocent family portrait. At first glance, nothing seems out of the ordinary, but look closer. Who or what is that standing behind them? This is not a ghost story. This is real. And tonight we are diving deep into some of the most terrifying real-life photos ever taken, images that remain unexplained to this day. If you think you can handle it, stay with me. But be warned, once you see these photos, you can't unsee them. Photographs are more than just snapshots of the past. They capture moments in time, memories frozen forever. But sometimes they capture something else, something we weren't meant to see. Throughout history, people have stumbled upon images that defy explanation. A faceless figure in an abandoned house, and a shadow with no source, a pair of glowing eyes in the darkness. Some believe these are spirits trapped between worlds. Others claim they are mere coincidences, tricks of the mind. But what if they're neither? What if these photos are warnings, messages from the other side? Some of the most terrifying paranormal photos have been studied by scientists, photographers, and skeptics alike, yet no rational explanation has ever been found. These images continue to haunt the minds of those who dare to look at them. But before we go any further, let's ask ourselves, why do we fear them so much? Perhaps it's because these photos challenge our understanding of reality. They force us to confront a chilling possibility that the world is not as we believe it to be, that something or someone is watching from the shadows. Tonight we are not just looking at photographs. We are unraveling the mysteries behind them. Each image has a story, a tale that will grip your soul and refuse to let go. Are you ready to see what lies beyond the veil? If so, let's begin. For every chilling photograph that sends shivers down the spines of believers, there is a skeptic ready to dismantle its mystery. Science and logic tell us that there must always be an explanation, whether it's a trick of the light, camera distortion, or even an outright hoax. But does that mean every unexplained photo is fake? Skeptical scientist. Skepticism is necessary. It prevents us from falling into superstition and forces us to seek truth over fear. The human brain is wired to find patterns even when none exist. This is called pareidolia, a psychological phenomenon where we perceive familiar images such as faces or figures in random patterns. A smudge on a lens, a shadow cast by a tree, or even an unusual trick of the light can convince our minds that we are seeing something supernatural. Scientist photography is an art and a science, and both can play tricks on our eyes. Double exposures, lens flares, and motion blur can create eerie apparitions. And in today's digital age, photo manipulation tools make it easier than ever to fabricate a convincing hoax. Skeptics argue that many of the most famous ghost photos are simply the result of photographic errors or intentional deception. The Cottingley Fairies, 1917. A series of photographs taken by two young girls in England showed fairies dancing in a garden. It took decades before they admitted they had used cardboard cutouts. The Amityville Ghost Boy, 1976. A grainy infrared image showed what appeared to be a ghostly child peering from behind a door. Many believed it to be proof of the house's haunting, but skeptics suggested it was merely a misidentified person present during the investigation. The Ghost of Boot Hill, 1996. A tourist's photo at the historic Boot Hill Cemetery in Arizona appeared to show a transparent cowboy standing behind them. While some claimed it was a spirit, experts pointed out that a living person in the background could have caused the illusion. Time and time again, skeptics have exposed hoaxes, proving that not all paranormal photos are what they seem. But here's where things get truly interesting. For every debunked photo, there are countless others that defy logical explanation. These are the ones that keep even skeptics up at night. The photos where no tricks of light, no camera malfunctions, and no obvious tampering can account for what appears in the image. What do we do with those? Ignore them? Write them off as coincidences? Or could it be that some of these images hold a terrifying truth? Some skeptics argue that belief in ghosts and supernatural beings is rooted in cultural and psychological biases. But what happens when trained photographers, forensic analysts, and experts in digital imaging all fail to explain an image? When the person who took the photo swears there was no one else in the room, when multiple witnesses corroborate the eerie events surrounding the image, these are the cases that shake even the firmest non-believers. Despite widespread skepticism, some scientific studies have attempted to analyze supposed ghost photos. In certain cases, researchers have found anomalies that cannot be easily explained, light sources that do not match the room's conditions, figures that do not appear in the negatives, and unexplained heat signatures in infrared photography. While mainstream science remains cautious, some experts have suggested that these anomalies warrant further investigation. Paranormal investigators argue that not all phenomena can be explained away. They believe that some photos may capture energy imprints, remnants of spirits trapped between worlds. Could it be that certain cameras, under specific conditions, reveal a reality beyond our own, or is it simply our minds trying to fill in the blanks? So where do we draw the line? Are all paranormal photos hoaxes? Are they optical illusions, or are some of them real glimpses into a world we don't fully understand? Whether you're a skeptic or a believer, one thing is certain: some images simply refuse to be forgotten. And now it's time to take a closer look at some of the most infamous paranormal photos in history. Images that have defied all explanation, haunted their owners, and sent shivers down the spines of even the bravest souls. Are you ready? Throughout history, certain photographs have sent shivers down the spines of even the most hardened skeptics. These images have circulated through newspapers, books, and the darkest corners of the internet, fueling endless debates between believers and debunkers. Some have logical explanations, while others remain unsolved mysteries. Tonight, we'll take a deep dive into some of the most infamous and chilling real-life photos ever captured. Keep the lights on. You may never look at photographs the same way again. In 1924, James Courtney and Michael Meehan, two crew members of the oil tanker SS Watertown, were tragically killed when they were accidentally exposed to toxic fumes while cleaning out a cargo tank. Their bodies were given a burial at sea. But in the days following their deaths, the remaining crew reported seeing their faces, pale, ghostly, and unmistakable, floating just beneath the waves, following the ship. The ship's captain, disturbed by these repeated sightings, took a photograph. When the film was developed, the eerie faces of Courtney and Meehan were there, staring back. The image was widely publicized, with many declaring it irrefutable proof of spirits lingering beyond death. However, skeptics argue that the faces could be the result of an optical illusion created by the water's movement, or possibly tampered with before development. Despite numerous attempts to recreate the phenomenon, no conclusive explanation has been found. The SS Watertown ghost photo remains one of the most enduring mysteries of maritime hauntings. Regarded as one of the most famous ghost photographs ever taken, the Brown Lady of Raynham Hall was captured in 1936 by photographers from Country Life magazine while they were documenting the historic English manor. The image appears to show a faint, glowing figure of a woman in period clothing, slowly descending the grand staircase. Many believe this to be the spirit of Lady Dorothy Walpole, a noblewoman who was said to have been locked away in the hall by her husband until her death in the 18th century. When Country Life published the photo, it immediately ignited debate. Paranormal enthusiasts hailed it as solid evidence of ghosts, while skeptics and photography experts suggested it could have been the result of double exposure or a well-crafted hoax. To this day, no definitive evidence has been presented to prove the photograph was tampered with. It remains one of the most iconic ghost images in history, still scrutinized by experts and believers alike. This seemingly normal family portrait, taken in the 1950s, became infamous when it surfaced online decades later. The Cooper family had just moved into a new house in Texas and decided to take a celebratory photo. But when the film was developed, a horrifying sight emerged. An eerie, shadowy figure appeared to be hanging upside down from the ceiling, as if it had fallen from above, at the exact moment the picture was taken. Internet sleuths and paranormal enthusiasts debated the origins of the figure, with many claiming it was a ghost caught on camera. Others suggested it might be a trick of light, an undeveloped portion of another image, or even an intentional fabrication. Some skeptics claim the image was altered using digital software and is nothing more than an internet hoax. However, no solid proof of manipulation has been found, leaving the mystery open for interpretation. In a photograph taken in 1941 at the reopening of a bridge in Canada, a peculiar figure stands out. Among a sea of people dressed in typical 1940s fashion, one man wears what appears to be a modern hoodie, sunglasses, and a printed t-shirt, completely out of place for the time. When the image surfaced online, conspiracy theorists speculated that this was proof of time travel. Others argued that the man's clothing, though unusual, could have existed in the 1940s but was simply uncommon. Historians have pointed out that similar sunglasses and printed shirts did exist in some form in the 1940s, though they weren't widely worn. While intriguing, the time traveler remains more of a fascinating oddity than undeniable proof of time travel. The RMS Queen Mary, now permanently docked as a floating hotel in Long Beach, California, is said to be one of the most haunted ships in the world. Countless visitors have reported paranormal activity, from eerie voices to sudden cold spots. In the early 2000s, a security camera caught a chilling figure in one of the ship's hallways. The transparent, glowing shape appeared momentarily before vanishing. Many believe this to be the spirit of a crew member who died in the ship's engine room decades earlier. Ghost hunters and paranormal investigators consider this one of the strongest pieces of evidence for hauntings aboard the Queen Mary. However, skeptics suggest the apparition could have been a trick of lighting or an internal camera glitch. Despite multiple analyses, no definitive explanation has been provided. The Queen Mary continues to be a hotspot for ghostly encounters. Some of these photographs have been explained, while others remain a complete mystery. Are they proof of the afterlife, glitches in reality, or just the result of our minds playing tricks on us? Perhaps the answer lies not in the photos themselves, but in how we choose to see them. What do you believe? Tell us your thoughts in the comments below. Have you ever captured something unexplainable on camera? We've explored some of the most infamous and debated photographs of the supernatural, but among them, one image stands above the rest, a photograph so chilling, so deeply unsettling, that even seasoned investigators struggle to explain it. It's been called the most terrifying real-life photo ever taken, and tonight, you're about to see it for yourself. In 1974, Ronald DeFeo Jr. brutally murdered 6 members of his own family in their Amityville home on Long Island. Just over a year later, George and Kathy Lutz moved in with their 3 children, unaware of the horror that awaited them. For 28 days, the Lutz family endured terrifying paranormal events, strange noises, unexplainable odors, unseen forces, and sinister visions. They fled the house in terror, leaving everything behind. In 1976, famed paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren conducted a full-scale investigation of the Amityville house. They set up motion-activated cameras throughout the home, hoping to capture any evidence of supernatural activity. Days later, they reviewed the footage. That's when they found it. One of the images taken in the hallway outside the bedroom where 2 of the murdered DeFeo children had been shot revealed something terrifying. A young boy with glowing white eyes peering out from a doorway. There were no children present in the house during the investigation. When the photograph was released to the public, it caused an immediate sensation. Paranormal believers declared it as irrefutable proof of spirits lingering in the Amityville house. Many theorized that the ghostly figure resembled John Matthew DeFeo, the youngest victim of the 1974 massacre. However, skeptics have suggested that the image could have been a hoax, possibly a member of the investigative team mistakenly caught on camera. Yet no one who was present that night has ever admitted to being the figure in the photographs. Despite numerous analyses, no definitive explanation has ever been given. Was this the restless spirit of a murdered child, a trick of the light, or something far darker lurking within the walls of the Amityville house? Some mysteries refuse to be solved, and some things should never be seen. What do you think? Is this real proof of the paranormal, or just another cleverly staged hoax? Let us know in the comments below. Subscribe for more terrifying mysteries if you dare. Throughout history, eerie photographs have fascinated, terrified, and divided us. Some see them as undeniable proof of life beyond death. Others dismiss them as clever tricks, illusions, or simple misinterpretations. But one thing is certain, these images leave an impact, forcing us to question our own understanding of reality. Are these photos glimpses into another realm, or is our mind playing tricks on us? The debate between believers and skeptics remains as heated today as when these images first surfaced. Even if we rationally dismiss them, these photos tap into something ancient within us: our fear of the unknown, our fear of being watched, and our fear of what lurks just beyond the veil of human perception. Many of these images have been scrutinized, analyzed, and debunked. Yet some continue to baffle experts to this day. If they were all hoaxes, why do some remain unexplained after decades? For many, just looking at these photos is enough to send shivers down their spine. Some even report feeling watched, experiencing nightmares, or hearing strange sounds after studying them too closely. Is this the power of suggestion, or something more? In the end, these images are more than just pictures. They are puzzles that we may never fully solve. Whether real or fake, they remind us that the world is full of mysteries, some explainable and some that defy all logic. So ask yourself, do you trust your own eyes? Or is reality far stranger than we can ever comprehend? What do you think? Which of these photos disturbed you the most? Do you believe in their authenticity, or do you think they've all been debunked? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe for more chilling mysteries if you dare. Some say these photos prove the existence of the supernatural. Others insist they're nothing more than clever tricks or eerie coincidences. But what do you believe? Now it's your turn. Which of these photos shocked you the most? Do you believe in ghosts and the paranormal, or do you think there's always a logical explanation? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We're reading every comment. If you love unraveling the world's greatest mysteries, you won't want to miss our next video. Coming soon. An unsettling story of a photo so disturbing it was banned from the internet. But we found it. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't